Welcome to Declassified Live, everybody. A lot to talk about today. We have got Rod Rosenstein's articles of impeachment introduced in the United States House of Representatives. This is a pretty big deal. This is actually a very big deal because it's the first time that the Congress has made a definitive statement on Rod Rosenstein's breach of respect, really. Rosenstein has walked before Congress and pretty much done whatever he wanted. He obstructed. He said what he wanted to say. He did what he wanted to do. He didn't really show any respect whatsoever for members of Congress. None. And he quite frankly, just came before the House. I found him to be, in his last go-round of public testimony, incredibly condescending, combative, challenging. I didn't really think that Rosenstein showed any respect whatsoever to Congress or the process. I thought that he was disrespectful. I thought he was very, very disrespectful to Congress. Hey, Steel Anvil, how are you? And I think part of the issue here is that Rosenstein doesn't feel he has to comply with Congress because who's going to do anything about it? Who is going to do anything about it? Doesn't look like Paul Ryan's going to do anything about it. Doesn't look like the House Majority Leader, Kevin McCarthy, is going to do anything about it. Doesn't look like, in the final analysis, rank and file Rhino members of Congress, good morning, everybody, are going to do anything about it. So why wouldn't Rosenstein block Congress? Now, the question, let's go back to a different question, though. Why would he? Why would the Deputy Attorney General decide to obstruct the United States Congress? Let's think about this for a minute. Well, that FISA application was pretty damning. Now, the big question has always been, now somebody just said, I'll burn that flag any day of the week, and that gets you an automatic removal from the comment section. And if it continues, we just ban you outright from the show because we don't deal with trolls on this show. We don't deal with trolls. And Hangman says, I've got a good shirt pattern. Yes, this is for you guys. I want to get psychedelic again today. But these Rosenstein articles of impeachment are I think, symbolic. The way the process works, if you know how impeachment works here in the House, it's so here's what's going to happen, right? So Mark Meadows introduced these articles of impeachment against Rod Rosenstein. There needs to be a majority. There are 40 members on the Judiciary Committee, Bob Goodlatte's committee. He needs 21 of those. You need the majority on the committee. We have that with Republicans. If the articles of impeachment make it out of the Judiciary Committee, they go to the full House floor for a vote. And then the full House would have to vote to remove Rosenstein. Now, Rosenstein wouldn't lose his job at that point. Then, of course, it would go to a trial in the United States Senate. Too many never-Trumpers in the Senate. That would require a 2/3 vote to remove him. It's not going to happen. It just won't happen. There aren't enough Republicans with guts, let alone Democrats, that would remove him. However, if the House decides to stick together, which they should, and have some guts, at least it will be symbolic. So again, to impeach, there's two parts to the impeachment process. There's the actual impeachment in the House of Representatives, then the trial in the Senate where you're removed. Forget that part. That's not going to happen. Bill Clinton was impeached, but then when he went to trial in the Senate, there weren't enough votes to remove him from office. He was acquitted in his Senate trial. You got to look at the senators like a jury. Unless 2/3 vote to remove you, you're then acquitted in the Senate. However, a simple impeachment in the House will send a loud and clear message to Rosenstein and other obstructionists in DOJ that this Congress isn't going to allow it, that they're going to do something about it. And that's the bigger problem, right? We're not cohesive enough as a Republican Party. We don't stick together. It's just that the Republican Party is somehow still under the assumption that if we cooperate with Democrats, it's going to somehow help us, that they're going to love us or be our friends or give us some ground. And remember, you can super chat with us. There's that little icon, little $ icon. You can super chat, donate a couple of bucks, help keep the show going every day. And I will bump that question to the top of the list. But the Rosenstein impeachment is more symbolic than anything. And I think it's necessary. A lot of people disagree with me on that for the simple reason that if Congress doesn't have teeth, what good are they? If Congress can't be, they can't hold people accountable. If you come before a congressional committee and you decide, I don't want to talk, and Congress has no way to make you talk. If you say, yeah, go ahead, Congress, subpoena me. You're not a prosecutor. You're not a prosecutorial agency. So you could subpoena me. I'm not going to listen to your subpoena. Well, what happened? Well, Congress is supposed to go before a federal judge, and the federal judge is supposed to send out the U.S. Marshals. But that rarely ever happens. Now, Congress can't continue to operate that way. They just can't. Can't continue to operate in a way that you're not effective. If you have no teeth, if you have no way to enforce your subpoenas, if you have no way to enforce or compel witnesses not only to stand before you, good morning, Robert Jackson, or to tell the truth, well then, what's the point? Why are Americans subject to watching your hearings, your open door hearings, and sitting through all of this nonsense? There's no sense in it. And Jim Gates says, if you believe Hillary is going to prison, nothing's ever going to happen to Hillary Clinton. She has too much dirt on too many people. Hillary's getting a pass. There are two standards of justice in this nation. Nothing will ever happen to Hillary Clinton. There is no stealthy, silent Jeff Sessions and this QAnon moron nonsense. And Robert Mueller is an ally of Trump and Comey's a good guy. None of that is true. Nothing's going to happen to Hillary. She's knows where too many bodies are buried, figuratively, maybe literally. And there's definitely a different standard of justice. But back to Rosenstein. And so it's less about Rosenstein than it is about Congress. Congress, for their own survival, right? Their approval rates are hanging anywhere between 3% and 7%. Let me address one thing. Luke Viano. There's been a step up busting low-level pedo traffickers. That has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton. Nothing. That whole Pizzagate thing was moronic. I'm a former law enforcement guy. I worked child sex crimes. I never saw a theory more moronic than Pizzagate in my life. It bore no basis in investigative fact. It was completely concocted. All right. Hillary does not run an international ring of pedophiles that track these people. Believe me, I saw a lot of intelligence on who was involved. There were political figures. Hillary and Bill Clinton are not running an international ring of pedophiles with the Podesta brothers. Let me just put that out there. The Podesta brothers did not kidnap Madeleine McCann in Portugal. These theories are moronic and they serve nobody. There's an uptick in the arrest of pedophiles because the Department of Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, which used to be called U.S. Customs, is deploying new technology. They have a renewed mission. They work alongside FBI and local cyber crimes units. And those stories are making it into the media more. We actually had higher arrest rates back in 2008. When let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to get rid of Danny once and for all from the stream. We're going to block the troll. And we're going to make sure that we don't allow morons. And there you go. You'll never see Danny's moronic comments again. Take it easy, Danny. Hopefully, you make it to school on time and your mom isn't too mad at you. You really, You really, at 23, should stop sleeping in your mom's basement, though. And it's time for you to graduate the 8th grade. Now, back to the articles of impeachment. So, well, let's talk about this pedophile thing first. So, it's just because law enforcement has better technology now and are cooperating. If you look at the arrest rates of pedophile rings, we actually were arresting more back in 2008 than we even are today. So, it's great. It's great. But the investigators have been doing this awesome job all along. Arrests are on the uptick because Homeland Security has more tools now at their disposal. And people are saying Pizzagate is real. It's not, okay? It's not. I was the cop who investigated these crimes. I've looked at everything. I'm telling you, it's not. It's no more real than QAnon or Sessions being a good guy or all that. Yeah, are codes used for trafficking? Sure. Are codes used in trafficking drugs? Of course. Was it all being run out of Comet Ping Pong Pizza? No. And a legitimate, honest business suffered. And that's about the most anti-conservative position I can think of. Ricky Lee says Cuomo just pardoned thousands of pedophiles so they can vote. Again, that's not true. It's not true. There are moronic websites out there. I despise Andrew Cuomo, but a very small portion, maybe under 24, of those he released with conditional release were pedophiles or even rapists. There shouldn't have been one of them released. It was terrible. Cuomo will have blood on his hands. But let's deal in facts. Let's deal in facts. We are so much stronger when we're smart and we deal in facts. All right? Let's be smarter. Let's be smarter about this. Now, back to the nothing bothers me more than when conspiracy sites take a theory and run with it. And the reason I've diverged into Pizzagate and all these other things is because this is why we can't get Rod Rosenstein impeached. This is why Department of Justice can obstruct Congress, because morons on the right, these characters, these QAnons and these 4chan, these Reddit pages that concoct these conspiracy theories discredit us. So when we have a legitimate problem like the weaponization of the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the intelligence community against Trump, and we have massive corruption, you know what the left does? They say, oh, don't listen to those people. They're the ones who thought there was a pedophile ring around of a pizzeria that didn't even have a basement. This is, you guys, I wish conservatives out there understood the damage they do to our movement and the cover they give the real bad guys by believing conspiracy theories. That's the problem. Now, is it possible that some of the people mentioned in Hillary's emails are pedophiles? Yes, but we don't have any proof. Not code words in an email and subjective interpretations of what they might be. We don't have proof. And so when you start taking unproven, unvetted, unverified conspiracy theories with no evidence and you promote them as fact, you begin to look dumb. And you begin to look uninformed and you begin to look conspiratorial, looking for the monster under every bed and in every closet. So when a guy like Rod Rosenstein comes along and he is actually weaponizing the Department of Justice against the President of the United States, no one's going to listen to you. And it's a shame. You know why? You know the story of the boy who cried wolf? Eventually the wolf showed up, but nobody listened to the kid because he was crying wolf about every puppy and poodle that came along. And that's why I hate conspiracy theories and I rail against them every day. David Rosenberg, you are running with interpretations. I worked these cases. I guarantee you probably haven't. I safeguarded the raped and murdered body of a raped and murdered 9-year-old. So never come at me and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about with these cases, or I'm giving bad guys a pass, because I'm not. But I want to take down real bad guys. I had a molested 8-year-old in the backseat of my police car, trying to explain to her why the man hurt her as I was buying her McDonald's and had to hand her off to child services. Did you? So when I despise conspiracy theories because I operated in the real world, it's because I want to take down the real bad guys. And you can't take down the real bad guys when everything is clouded with conspiracy theories. You can't do it. So here we are. All right. We have a deputy attorney general and a special counsel running unfettered, weaponizing against the American people. That is why we now have a fight between our members of our own party. 412 Anon. I don't even know what that is. It's not about confirming. These are, so I'm trying to explain to you guys. All of these numbers are a matter of public record. Look at the FBI UCR, not somebody on the web named 412 Anon. All right. All of this information is public record. Any American can call the Department of Homeland Security, HSI, Homeland Security Investigations. It used to be U.S. Customs, and ask them how many arrests there have been for child sex trafficking. You guys are conflating arrests for child pornography with arrests for child sex trafficking. Most of the trafficking is happening overseas or here in the U.S. by gangs like MS-13 and other gangs that run underage prostitutes. I was ancillary on the Jeff Epstein case. There is so much bad information out there. But what's frustrating is that when guys like me and others who have worked in law enforcement or prosecutors try to tell you, no, you're getting a lot of bad info. This is what really happened. You guys, many of you guys say what Sig Stefan, that I'm letting the mainstream media narratives shape my thinking and shame my thinking. And that's really frustrating because that couldn't be further from the truth because I worked on these cases. I know the investigators involved. I'm getting the raw data. But you're allowing conspiracy theorist anonymous web accounts to shape yours and to shame you into thinking a certain way. Look, if you can't deal in reality because reality isn't as sensational as conspiracy, you're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to have credit. You're always going to be discredited. Always. You're always going to be discredited. You got to work in facts. You have to. Because if you don't work in facts, what happens is you allow guys like Rod Rosenstein and Peter Strzok and Andrew McCabe and James Comey and John Brennan. You allow them to proliferate. You allow them to thrive. Okay, Luke Viano, what about Fantasy Island and Epstein's? Jeff Epstein is probably the most aggressive sexual predator America has ever seen. But he was an FBI cooperating witness and cut a deal. Many, many people. Jeff Epstein was never convicted federally, only in Palm Beach County in Florida and got a very light sentence. He should be rotting in jail for the rest of his life. He should be rotting in jail. But his island, if you understand what went on there, was mainly overaged women. Epstein brought younger girls there alone, and he typically molested young girls on his plane, on boats, or offshore at this service. Tammy's asking, why did Epstein spend $29 million on cement to fill in tunnels? That was a construction project. Epstein is a bad guy. He probably molested over 1,000 kids in his life. He should be rotting in federal prison. He should have gotten the death penalty. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There was so much real information on this guy that could have buried him for life, but then people had to make it even worse with their conspiracy theories. It had to be worse, but it didn't need to be. And so all that did was discredit the good work done. These conspiracy, many of you don't know. I am very friendly with one of the lawyers for the victims who sued Jeff Epstein. All right. All these conspiracy theories took the ability for him to get a settlement for his clients in a year and stretched it out about 5 or 6 years. All these conspiracy theories did was hurt Jeff Epstein's victims because Epstein was able to keep going to court, delaying having to pay the victims because he was able to keep suing people for these dumb conspiracy theories. And he was always able to delay the suit with the victims. These conspiracy theories hurt the victims. It sounds great and you have fun with it on the internet, but the real victims are hurt while everybody's playing detective on bad info. And I wish more people understood that. Same with Rosenstein. Rosenstein should have been out of there long ago. These articles of impeachment are long overdue. But how? Rosenstein is able to stand up there and say, oh, that's a crazy conspiracy theory. That's a crazy conspiracy theory. That's a crazy conspiracy theory. So's that one. Even to the theories that are real. And then Republicans in Congress say, well, we don't want to be called conspiratorial, so let's leave them alone. You guys, that's what I try to explain to you every day. When you buy into the QAnons and the Alex Joneses and all the craziness, you're helping the bad guys. You're helping the bad guys because the bad guys are then able to say, oh, they're all a bunch of nut conspiracy. I bet they also don't believe 9/11 happened. They don't believe Sandy Hook happened. I bet they also believe there's a Russian air base in upstate New York owned by George Soros. And then the right gets laughed at and the bad guys on the left are able to continue to operate in plain sight. Okay, Adam Troy says, Quentin Tarantino says Roman Polanski and Thanos did nothing wrong. Quentin Tarantino is a lowlife. Roman Polanski is a pedophile, should be in jail for the rest of his life. Oh my God. What about the Pope's arrest warrant? Oh my God. Seriously, guys. You guys got to stop with these conspiracy theories. You got to stop. There is no arrest warrant for the Pope. Steel Anvil says, I'd like to slap the smirk off Rod's face, Rod Rosenstein. Can't again disagree with there. You gotta add a few other people to that mix. I think I put Peter Strzok in front of that list. Nah, Robert, they're not going to give me an aneurysm. They're not. I've been dealing with this every day. It is very frustrating in conservative media to try to get the truth out when there are, look, conspiracy theories are fun. I would have 100,000 viewers a day if I stood up here and said, oh yeah, John Podesta was the leader of pedo-gate. John Podesta, he actually had a hidden office in a safe room in the back of Comet Pizza. And he had 67 monitors where he had operatives from the Church of Satan molesting kids. And I would have hundreds of thousands of viewers believing that nonsense. And I'd be doing a tremendous, tremendous disservice to you, to law enforcement trying to catch the real bad guys, to the victims, because I would have people chasing their tails, looking in the wrong direction. That's the problem. Now, people keep asking me, possesses email and kids in his hot tub. Looks horrible. Might very well be evidence. Maybe. But right now, we have no proof. And from an evidentiary standpoint, you can't connect one email to a global child sex trafficking conspiracy run out of a pizzeria in Washington, D.C. You'd be laughed out of every court in the world. You'd be laughed out of every detective squad room, an investigative bullpen on the planet. And that's all. Constitution says I probably believe Podesta got hacked by the Ruskies. No, I think Podesta got phished. I deal in facts. Podesta was a moron who made his password. He fell for a 1997 era phishing scam. No, again, I deal in facts. I don't deal in conspiracy theories. Russian hacking to me is a conspiracy theory. Nobody's ever seen the DNC server except one private company. That to me is a conspiracy theory. I think it's much more plausible. One of the things I do believe is that Seth Rich leaked the information. I believe Seth Rich was most likely killed because he leaked the information. What I don't believe is that government agents killed Seth Rich and it was a targeted assassination by Hillary Clinton. No, I think somebody who worked with Seth Rich got pissed off, had a gun, went to argue with him, things got out of hand, and he got shot. That's what I think. So we agree on many things. Many things I don't think are conspiratorial. As a guy who worked robberies and gun crimes, I think Seth Rich was a victim due to his work at the DNC. That I do believe. And I do believe he was the leak. I don't believe the Russians hacked the DNC for the simple reason that we never really got anything that damning from the DNC other than Hillary railroaded Bernie with Wasser and Schultz. Well, here's the thing. Captain Nobody says everyone has their own opinion, dear. We know. Well, it's not opinion. You see, somebody spent many, many years in law enforcement, investigators on these cases. I'm trying to give you some good intelligence. So it's not just opinion. So when I speak to the agents and the prosecutors, people I know I've worked with, I look at the evidence. That's worth far more to me than some anonymous internet persona who claims they have a super secret squirrel, top secret SCIQ cleared document that they can't really share with you. I weigh the value of the evidence, the value of the source. William Levy asks, why do people not like Russia? Well, Luke, let me answer Luke's question. So you aren't denying that it could be true, just on proof. Exactly. Those emails look really bad. But I want an investigation. I want proof before I start accusing somebody of something heinous and attaching other people who might be innocent. Exactly. Why do people not like Russia? Fear-mongering. Look, Russia's not our friend. They're an adversary. As Trump says, a competitor. But I think the Russian people, by and large, are pro-West. They just want to make money. They want to live well. I don't think the Russian people are out there trying to, destroy the United States of America or what do you call? Go to nuclear war with us. I don't think they have any interest in that. Hold on, because I just lost your chats. There we go. Sigurd says China's much worse than Russia. Yeah, in fact, if you listen to Christopher Wray, the FBI director, at the Aspen Security Summit, he said China's a bigger threat. Raya says, don't we meddle in Russian elections? Yeah. We meddle in Russian elections. They meddle in ours. Everybody meddles in everybody. Red alert to you. Okay, here's more bad information. Why would the DC police cover up the Seth Rich case if it wasn't a hit on Seth? They didn't. A friend of mine is a robbery cop in DC in that area. Nobody covered anything up. There's just not a lot of information. Detectives have been working on the case. Detectives never received a stand-down order. Again, more conspiracy theories. When Rod Wheeler came out and said that was the case, Rod has been out of the DCPD for decades. And other cops in DC told me, guy does not know what he's talking about. Nobody gives him information. So again, you got to consider this. Just because somebody is on a certain network or says I worked in a certain place, it doesn't mean that they're an unimpeachable source. It rarely means that. Let's see. Why does CNN throw around conspiracy theories? Well, do you want to be like CNN? They just had a reporter banned from the White House. I don't know if you guys saw this story. Let me pull it up for you. I think it was, what's her name? Caitlin Collins was banned from the White House yesterday after she started yelling questions at Trump. But let's see. So her question was, she started yelling questions at the, I got to find that graphic. Let me see this. So they banned her from the Rose Garden event yesterday. And Caitlin Collins, because she was yelling questions, irrelevant, unrelated questions at Trump. Now, the problem I have with what she did is that CNN now goes to the White House to disrupt. Do I want to see reporters banned from the White House? No. We need a free and fair press. So no, I do not. But The other problem is the other problem is CNN, and I talked about it yesterday, needs to start being, and I was looking for a graphic. The reason I'm poking around, it was a graphic of the exact question she asked. I can't find it right now, but let me see if it's here, maybe. I want to, yeah, okay, so she's at the press gaggle, and she starts screaming questions while Trump is standing with the president of the EU about the Michael Cohen tape. And I was hoping to find the exact question she asked, but they decided to ban her. Now, CNN has been unfair to the White House. CNN, I believe, is no longer news. They're opinion journalism. There's opinion journalism. And I don't think CNN should be given the same stature in the press room as hard news outlets. There aren't hard news outlets. It also is just about access. CNN can get their access from the regular feed. The only reason you want to be there is that maybe you get your story out first. Now, Fox News issued a statement. We stand in strong solidarity with CNN for the right to full access for our journalists as part of a free and unfettered press. Notice how they didn't say fair or objective. Because CNN is not fair and objective. They're not a fair and objective press. Adam Troy is talking about Facebook. Yeah, Facebook had a massive drop in stock, 24% free fall in their stock. I was going to talk about that tomorrow. I was going to dig into the information some more today. But I am still not sold on crypto. I'm still not sold on crypto. I know a lot of people say crypto is the wave of the future. I just I just don't see it's backed by nothing. It's arbitrary and it only has value because people say it has value. But it's still not legal tender enough for too many things. There was one real estate transaction here in Florida. One. And they regret doing it. And the person who sold that piece of real estate when Bitcoin was super high is now regretting it because they were on the upside of equity in that place. And now they're way upside down on a place they worked hard and paid off. And so, it's crypto makes me nervous when you can't buy real things in the real world of significance. Anthony Emmerich asks, how do you feel about Rand Paul advising a blanket removal of top secret clearances from retirees of intelligence field? No, I don't think you can't really do that because, an outgoing CIA director might have information pertinent, germane to an ongoing case, and you need to be able to bring them back in to discuss it with them. You just got to put a provision in there where if they abuse it, like John Brennan has, it can be pulled. It can be pulled. Back to CNN, though. CNN, I would have no problem if CNN, I say this all the time, just let it be known, excuse me, that they were a left-wing opinion and commentary outlet and not a hard news outlet. That's all. That's all they have to do. But when you go up there and make believe you're hard news and the president is standing with the president of the EU and all your questions are gotcha questions about a Playboy model designed, of course, to embarrass the president of the United States in front of the president of the EU, designed only to embarrass him. There was no, sorry, there was no news value in those questions. None. It'd been overdone. Everything we needed to know about the Michael Cohen tape, we knew it'd been reported night and day, the day before us since it dropped. She was only trying to embarrass Trump in front of the president of the EU. And Anthony Emmerich says, Brennan is a creep. I think Brennan's a terrible, terrible guy. I think John Brennan is a terrible, terrible, terrible guy and should be treated as such. But Adam Troy says, I understand, Adam. You can't hack Bitcoin, blockchain. It's an invisible ledger, irreversible ledger. I get all that. But it's still not backed by anything. It has no value. It's not backed by anything. So it's me trusting the entity that created it. And you and me saying, this has value. What value? You give me that. I give you my car. And then it's a roll of the dice whether anybody else is going to take it from me for anything of equal or greater value. And to me, I'm a simple guy. That's why I don't dabble in crypto. I think it's wonderful to be a multimillionaire on paper. It's another thing to be comfortable in the real world. And so Adam Troy saying, I won't have a choice later on with crypto. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. The world is not going to crypto. Believe me. The world is never going to go fully to crypto, at least not in our lifetime. Debbie K, do you think the names of legislators who use the slush fund for settlement to avoid sex scandals will be released before the November elections? No. Should it be? Yes. Yes. Evil Bastard is right. The dollar used to be backed by gold and silver, but now it's not anymore. No, but it is backed by the $18+ trillion U.S. economy. So there's something substantial behind it. There are federally owned lands in the United States of America worth trillions of dollars. That worst case scenario could be used to back the dollar. Not so with crypto. There's no tangible asset behind it. And none of my investments are in Bitcoin. Evil Bastard says, yeah, it doesn't make sense. If it's more recognized, if all of a sudden Chevy dealerships across the nation said we're going to take crypto, well, that's different. That's different. But right now, it's a bunch of people on the web trading things with it. It's not really a tangible asset. So, yeah. Merkmad says the U.S. economy is still substantial as an object is only valuable as the amount someone will pay for it. Correct. But you have to understand, if you buy a car, there are thousands of objects used to build that vehicle, every one of which is deemed to have value, perceived to have value. Not so with a Bitcoin, which is why I don't dabble in it. It's why I don't dabble in it. My shirt is for MK Ultra sleepers. Give me your address. Some people I know want to visit you. Red Alert says he bought Bitcoin at 5,500, sold it when it hit over 19,000. Sold it for what? Did you get hard cash? That's the question. Or did you roll it into another crypto? Because I would never touch something. Adam Troy says, can't compare the dollar to crypto. Better off comparing gold. Besides, Bitcoin is rarer than gold because there'll only be 21 million mined. Right, but gold is used in things. It's used in industrial applications, jewelry applications. Bitcoin isn't. Gold is a tangible thing that I can touch. It's had value, real or perceived, for thousands upon thousands of years. Bitcoin's like a week old. And there are other competitors out there that might be better. What Bitcoin really is wampum. And that went the way of the dinosaur pretty quickly. Jeff, like Apples, is back with his Twinkie comments. Twinkies are tangible. Yes, they are. Rosenstein was in Canada, Five Eyes gathering just after G7 summit. They can't help him. Tammy, I don't know if I buy that either. That whole Five Eyes thing, that was a Louise Mensch, Rick Wilson, John Schindler conspiracy theory thing. Don't listen to those lunatics. Okay, so Red Alert, you sold Bitcoin at 19,000, then bought it again at 5,100. Constitution, I do understand it. I just don't like it. I understand it. I just don't buy or invest in any asset without real something behind it. Even if I invest in a tech startup, I want to know there's software that does something, not just a couple of guys in hoodies with a cool idea. That's my point. I'm just not a guy who believes in the intangible. I think it sounds great, but I don't believe in all of these intangible bubbles. But that being said, look, it's your money. Invest it how you want. I see people who are very, very wealthy on paper with Bitcoin, but they're not moving it in the real world. They can't really buy anything with it. So to me anyway, it's equivalent to me hiring a developer, creating a cryptocurrency, saying there are only 50 million of them, they're worth $1 million each, or they're worth $1 billion each. And I'm holding 75% of those. Ergo, I'm worth 30 some odd $1 billion on paper because of this thing I created. I mean, that's how I see Bitcoin. That's how I see it. All right. And I'm going to be deleting more comments that are just moronic. Going to be deleting more comments that are moronic. We don't deal with dumb comments. We don't deal with that, and we don't deal with hating on this country. That's what we don't deal with here. We will delete you from the show very, very quickly. Just don't like it. But part of the problem I have with going back to the conspiracy theories is important. Is I really, let me just stick on this. Trinoculo's piece is bartering is a tried and true method of private trade. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's made the world go around for years. And it's conceptually great, but you can't function like that in the real world. When I go to pay my electric bill, my cell phone bill, my car insurance, my car payment, they don't want to hear about Bitcoin. They don't want to hear about bartering. And if I try that, they're going to shut off my lights, yank my insurance, and repossess my car, and foreclose on my home. So it's a wonderful concept, but in the real world, it's useless right now. It's useless. If I go to pay my MasterCard or my Visa bill with Bitcoin, they're going to laugh at me and shut my cards off and put me in arrears and whack. Me living in the real world, I'm a more tangible guy. I'm a more tangible guy. They hire a cop as FBI director as a law degree instead of attorneys. My biggest complaint, this move to always use DOJ attorneys as directors of the FBI, people that have never kicked doors or carried a gun, makes no sense and causes a lot of problems. Adam Troy says you can't copy or counterfeit a Bitcoin. You can cut out the banker with Bitcoin. I can send you $100 million around the world with a $3 fee and you'll get it in minutes and not be able to use it for anything. So if you were to send me $100 million in Bitcoin right now, I can't buy a car, can't pay a mortgage, I can't pay an electric bill, I can't go buy a new watch, I can't pay my insurance, can't pay my credit cards, can't go to the bank and take out cash, can't go to a restaurant, can't buy a plane ticket, can't check into a hotel with it, can't go to a nice dinner, can't go buy that boat I want. But what good is it? What good is it right now? Perceived value is a wonderful thing. I get it. But I can't really do anything with it in the real world. So that $100 million on paper doesn't mean much to me. Doesn't really mean much to me. So, yeah, you can get on a plane using Expedia with Bitcoin. Very, very limited. Very limited. Sure. There are certain sites you can buy a plane ticket. And what do you do when you get there? What do you do when you get to Bora Bora? Who's taking Bitcoin? I get what you're trying to say, but it's in its teeny infancy. There's no real value right now. None. Wow, red alert. You have your bank account attached to your wallet and you transfer $25,000 per week. $1 million a year in real cash coming in Bitcoin. God bless. You might be the only one. Listen, Johnny V says I'm 100% wrong about crypto. In a couple of years, when he's on Hawaii in his fifth house, he'll think about me. God bless you. I hope, listen, for all you guys who hold crypto, I hope I am dead wrong. But I know a lot of people who tell me we're crypto gazillionaires. Look at how much money we have. Hey, by the way, I'm heading up to New York City next week. You know anybody who has an extra room I can rent? Airbnb's too expensive. So, I hear the stories. Yeah, there are Bitcoin ATMs, but I mean, a few $100 here and there, what's it going to do? And they're few and far between. But so like I said, I don't want to Adam, I've looked deeply into the tech behind it. You're missing the point. I get what it is. I get what it does. I get it all. But I still realize that it is not negotiable for 99.9998% of the things we need in the world. And when something isn't negotiable, it's got no value to me. But God bless all you guys with crypto. I hope you guys are on your 12th houses in Hawaii in 3 years, not 5 years. I hope every one of you is a billionaire. I would love nothing more. Look, I would love nothing more than for everybody holding crypto to become fabulously rich. It would do amazing things for our economy. But it's not something I would ever put $1 into. It's not something I'd ever put $1 into. Because like I said, I watch too many people I know say, I'm a crypto gazillionaire. Hey, dude, I'm a little short. Can I borrow some money? You're a crypto gazillionaire. Well, yeah, but I got to hold on to this. Well, no, you just can't buy anything with it. That's going to help you live your life or stock your fridge. And so it's, that's my logic behind it. But again, if you think I'm wrong, God bless, I may very well be. Go buy it up. Buy it up. Buy as much as humanly possible, as much as you can afford. Far be it for me to tell you what to do. It's just not something I would put money into. Not more than a couple of. I have two Bitcoins that I got early on. 2, and the volatility. I never had any desire to have another. 50 Caliber says, are my supporters sending paper dollars to my GoFundMe account? I don't have a GoFundMe account. So I don't know what you're talking about. I just don't know what you're talking about. I do not have a GoFundMe. Fiat is fiat and crypto is a fiat scam. Let's see. Chris C says they have tomato plants. Zed Hero says the Dutch and tulips. Yeah, the tulip bubble, right? But Sean Fagan says crypto is good for drug deal. I don't know one drug dealer on the planet that would ever do a transaction. Not a real one. Maybe, yeah, these black market sites that were shut down. But try going to the hood. Try going to the hood with a virtual wallet. See how far that gets you. For every $1,000 you put into Bitcoin, you take 10,000 in lending power from international bankers, Adam Troy says. Adam, I don't think there are bankers in Zurich right now trembling over Bitcoin. I do know that they're living very, very well. They're living very, very well. But look, again, if you guys want to invest in it, God bless you. It's your money. I'm a free market guy. And look, I hope it does take off. I hope government is put in check. And there's a system that shows government we have an alternative. But right now, I just don't see it. I've spoken to some very smart people on both sides of the issue, people heavily invested in crypto, people who won't go near it, looked at its negotiability, looked at its liquidity, the value proposition. And I wanted to see it. I went in hoping to debunk the critics, and I left a skeptic and a critic. And so, it is what it is. It is what it is. Evil bastard, I like commodities too. I like oil and gas. I think the world will be running on fossil fuels for many, 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 exponentially many. So that is, to me, much more attractive. It's not a bad idea. And I love these ideas. How about a move to make social media unlock utilities? Social media doesn't run utilities. School teacher getting triggered. I have not. I have not. Sure bet is carbon trading. Nah, that all fell apart too, Merkmad. All those carbon credits fell apart. No, I do not want to treat the internet as a utility. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, 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 no. I have no desire to do that. Evil Bastard says, what's my opinion of Turning Point USA? Great organization. I know Charlie Kirk runs it very, very well. They're doing awesome, awesome work on college campuses. And President of the United States loves the organization. They were very, very effective in converting college students to conservatism and grabbing them away from socialism. They do a very good job. I know, as a matter of fact, I'm very close with Turning Point. One of their board members, major donors, two of them actually are very good friends of mine, good people. So I like the organization quite a bit. I like the organization quite a bit, and their conferences. They asked me to speak at them. This last one, they invited me up to this last one. I couldn't make it. The one that went down the other day in DC. I just way too busy with the show, but it's a good group. It's a good group. I've had them on my old show several times. And David Menzies. David turns out a great interview. So I didn't see it. I'll watch it. But I love David's work. And if you watch David, you know. If you don't, he's just a great guy as well. And so now I really want to watch this interview. He's a funny, funny guy. It's, let's see. The answer says, why don't college kids take personal responsibility? You just asked the question of our lifetime. You just did. Now, I don't know. I have no idea why college kids won't take personal responsibility. Well, guys, it's about that time. I will be back with you tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. And I don't even know what we're going to talk about yet. Probably Facebook's massive share price fall off. Terrible. Sheila Gunn Reid is awesome also. Sheila is great. But I will see you guys back here tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the comments. Prove me wrong on crypto. I'd love to learn. I'll see you guys tomorrow.